acid synthesis. Now, living organisms differ in their capacity to synthesize amino acids which are required for protein synthesis. Now, there are plants and many microbes which are able to synthesize all the 20 standard amino acids from the readily available precursors. And there are some other organisms which are not able to synthesize all these 20 standard amino acid. So they obtained the preformed amino acids from diet. Plants and many microbes are able to synthesize all 20 standard amino acids, but other organisms are not able to do that, and that is the reason why they obtain preformed amino acids from the diet. Mammals and other animals are able to synthesize a subset of standard amino acids, and that subset of standard amino acids is known as 12 non-essential amino acids. Okay, so mammals and other animals are quite able to synthesize these 12 non-essential amino acids. Now, remaining amino acids, which are known as 8 essential amino acids, are obtained from the diet. Okay, so in case of mammals and other animals, 12 non-essential amino acids are synthesized on their own, and the remaining 8 essential amino acids are obtained from the diet. Now, nitrogen is the key component of the amino acids. Now, nitrogen in the form of ammonium ion is the source of nitrogen for all amino acids. Okay, in your proteins, which is made up of amino acid, the nitrogen came from the ammonium ion. Now, in a living system, the ammonium ion is incorporated first into amino acids, and after that it is incorporated into variety of other biomolecules such as nucleotides. Okay, so the ammonium ion is incorporated first into amino acids, and then it is incorporated into other biomolecules. Now, there are two amino acids known as glutamate and glutamine. These two amino acids provide a critical entry point. Glutamate is the source of amino group for most of the other amino acids, and it donates its amino group to the other amino acids by transamination reaction. Okay, so glutamate is the source of amino group for most of the other amino acids. Now, there are two principal means by which ammonium ions are incorporated in amino acids and other metabolites. Now, let's see those two principles. Now, the first mean is the reductive amination of the alpha keto acid. Now, glutamate dehydrogenase is that enzyme which catalyzes the reductive amination of alpha ketoglutarate. And by doing reductive amination of alpha ketoglutarate, the alpha ketoglutarate is converted into glutamate. And this pathway is common in all organisms. In all organisms, this happens. Okay, so reductive amination of alpha keto acid, what is happening? Alpha ketoglutarate is getting converted into glutamate. Now, in case of eukaryotes, this reductive amination of alpha keto acids is a minor pathway, and that minor pathway occurs in the mitochondria. So, in case of eukaryotes, the reductive amination of alpha keto acids is taking place in mitochondria. Okay, now this glutamate dehydrogenase is an unusual enzyme. Okay, this glutamate dehydrogenase that is catalyzing the reductive amination of alpha ketoglutarate, that glutamate dehydrogenase is an unusual enzyme. And why it is unusual enzyme? Because it don't discriminate between NADH and NADPH. So this is how the reaction looks like. Okay, alpha ketoglutarate in the presence of enzyme glutamate dehydrogenase NH4 plus and NADPH or NADH gives glutamate. Now the second principle by which the ammonium ions are incorporated into amino acids is the formation of amides of glutamic acid. Hello, so let's read about it. Now the ammonium ions are also incorporated into cell metabolites by the formation of glutamine. And what is glutamine? Glutamine is the amide of glutamate. So by the formation of glutamine, the ammonium ions are incorporated. Now this amide reaction, that is formation of glutamine, is catalyzed by glutamine synthase, which is present in all organisms, and this amide reaction is driven by hydrolysis of ATP. Okay, so this glutamine synthase is that enzyme which is catalyzing this amidation reaction. Now ATP participate directly in this reaction. Okay, how does it participate? It directly phosphorylates the side chain of the glutamate, and phosphorylation of the side chain of glutamate results in the formation of acyl phosphate intermediate, and then this acyl phosphate intermediate react with ammonia to form glutamine. Okay, so that is how the glutamate is converted into glutamine by phosphorylating its side chain. So this is how the reaction looks like. Okay, this glutamate in the presence of ATP and NH4 plus is converted into glutamine, and this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme glutamine synthase. Well, in plants the NH4 is incorporated into glutamine, and this reaction is catalyzed by glutamine synthase. Amide amino group is transferred to the 2-keto group of alpha ketoglutarate, and this transfer of this amide amino group to the 2-keto group of the alpha ketoglutarate is catalyzed by glutamate synthase, and this enzyme, that is glutamate synthase, is also known as glutamine 2-oxoglutarate aminotransferase, which is abbreviated as GOGAT. So this GOGAT transfers the amide amino group to the 2-keto group of alpha ketoglutarate. Now this glutamate synthase, this enzyme transfer the amide group from the glutamine to the alpha ketoglutaric acid. Okay, and this produces 2 molecules of glutamate, and this whole reaction is also known as amination of alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, so what is amination of alpha ketoglutarate? The amino group from the glutamine is transferred to the alpha ketoglutaric acid, and because of this amination of alpha ketoglutarate, there is formation of 2 molecules of glutamate. So this is how the reaction looks like. Okay, glutamine plus alpha ketoglutarate gives 2 molecules of glutamate. Okay, as you can see, this amino group is getting transferred to the alpha ketoglutarate, and hence there is production of this glutamate. Now let's read about the transamination process. Now many amino acid biosynthetic pathways involve the transamination reaction. Now what happens in this transamination reaction is that there is this alpha amino group. Okay, alpha amino group from one amino acid is transferred to an alpha keto acids, and due to this transfer there is production of new amino acid. Okay, the alpha amino group from one amino acid is transferred to alpha keto acid, and because of this there is production of new amino acid, and that is your transamination reaction. Now this reaction is catalyzed by aminotransperases. Okay, this aminotransperases was also known before transaminases, but now it is known as aminotransferases. So this aminotransferases, this enzyme catalyzes the transamination reaction. Now this aminotransferases, this enzyme requires the participation of this aldehyde containing coenzyme, which is pyridoxal 5-phosphate, which is a derivative of pyridoxine, that is derivative of vitamin B6. Okay, so aminotransferases requires the participation of pyridoxal 5-phosphate for its activity. Now this pyridoxal 5-phosphate, okay, whose participation is kind of required for the activity of aminotransferases, is covalently attached with this enzyme. Okay, pyridoxal 5-phosphate is covalently attached with the enzyme aminotransferases, and this attachment is via a chief base linkage, and this chief base linkage is formed by the condensation of the aldehyde group of this pyridoxal phosphate and the epsilon amino group of the lysine residue of the enzyme. Okay, so pyridoxal 5-phosphate is covalently attached with the enzyme. So let's see how this aminotransferase works. Okay, aminotransferase acts by transferring the amino group of an amino acid to the pyridoxal part of the coenzyme, and when the amino group from the amino acid is transferred to this pyridoxal part of the coenzyme, this generates a pyridoxamine phosphate. Okay, so first there is generation of pyridoxamine phosphate. Now this pyridoxamine form of the coenzyme then reacts with the alpha keto acid, and due to this there is formation of the amino acid, and this reaction also regenerates the original aldehyde form of the coenzyme. Okay, so there is formation of amino acid when the pyridoxal form of the coenzyme reacts with alpha keto acids. Now eukaryotic cell possesses a large variety of this enzyme, that is aminotransferase. Now this enzyme aminotransferase is found in both cytoplasm as well as in mitochondria, and this aminotransferase shows two types of specificities. Now out of those two specificity, in first type the alpha amino acid donates the alpha amino group, and in the second type the alpha keto acid accepts the alpha amino group. Okay, so this aminotransferase possesses two types of specificities. In first type, alpha amino acid donates alpha amino group, and in second type the alpha keto acid accepts the alpha amino group. Now aminotransferases enzyme vary widely according to the type of the amino acid that they bind. Okay, like they bind different amino acid, different aminotransferase will bind different amino acids, and the thing is that most of the aminotransferases use glutamate as the amino group donor. Now the amino group from the glutamate can be transferred to the other alpha keto acid, and this transfer happens by transamination reaction. So this transamination reaction transfers the amino group from glutamate to other alpha keto acids. Now the thing is that these transamination reactions participate in the synthesis of most amino acids. Okay, in the synthesis of most amino acids there is transamination reaction. So this is how it looks like. Okay, there is this alpha keto acid which is act as an acceptor. Here is glutamate is going to give its NH3, and this two reacts and new amino acid is produced, and with this the alpha ketoglutarate is also formed. So when alpha keto acid accepts this NH3, it becomes new amino acid, and when this glutamate loses NH3, this glutamate becomes alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, so that is how it looks like.